So on April 3rd, I sold all of my stuff and packed my life into a suitcase and went off on my one-way ticket to Bali. This was the next stage of Operation Freedom, where my partner and I wanted freedom of time and place. And today, friends, I want to share with you 7 different lessons that I've learned from 136 days of traveling around the world while taking my business on the road. And the first one is around living off script. And this is something that I obviously sort of realized when I decided, hey, I want to sell everything I own and move to Bali or start to travel the world. And I've really realized, or it's really been drummed into my brain now, that there are literally tens of thousands of people living off script from what society tells us that we should or shouldn't do. And I'm not knocking to say that if you want to work in a 9-to-5 and you want to live in the burbs and start raising a family, that's awesome. And maybe that will be for me one day. But I think a lot of people take that path by default because we're not exposed to the different types of lives or the different types of stories or the different types of ways of living that are actually out there. Number 2 is the power around meeting people in real life and the power of building a network. So the first part of this, I guess, is like after COVID, we were so trained, especially in Melbourne, Australia and some other countries, to be holed up in our home and to be doing everything virtually. And I think a lot of us have lost the art or the understanding of meeting people in person and getting that energy exchange and that excitement of meeting someone new or having conversations one-to-one in real life. So really, like, a lot of life just happens away from the keyboard. And while we're building the business, it's very easy for us to get stuck having to make more YouTube videos or launch more LinkedIn content. But some of, if not the best experiences, have come when we've met new people or we've gone and done things with friends. And I know saying this, it sounds really duh, of course, but it's not just the energy that you get, but it's also that network that you start to expand and the relationships that you create. And I know it's a bit cliche that your network is your net worth or whatever, but seriously, the people that we've met and the opportunities that have come from that are totally insane. And we just probably never would have made those relationships or met those people if we had have stayed where we were in Melbourne. Number 3, and it's something that I've been researching a lot lately, is around loneliness. And to be honest, that's really amplified when you're traveling around. It's very hard to set roots and to build a community and to build super close friendships when it's not just you, but the other people that you meet are quite transient and moving around as well. What I have realized, as much as I love this lifestyle and what we do, not really natural for humans. Humans are made for staying in communities and being close to their family and staying like in their tribe. And so it's just something to be really mindful of, that when you do start doing this, it can be really hard to build friends and to build strong connections. So it's not just like, I know point number 2 is like meeting people, and that's awesome, but that isn't building strong connections that we need as human beings to combat loneliness. And I'm really lucky because I'm doing this with my partner, but it can still be really, really lonely when you're traveling around and you don't just have a friend you can call up and go and chat to or catch up with. Number 4, and I think this a lot, is that the time just passes no matter what you do. And I kind of used to be like aware of this because it's like, you know, I can spend 30 minutes now reading a book or watching Netflix, and I know it all compounds. What you do now is the output that you get tomorrow and is the outcomes you get in the future. However, time just passes for your life, and it's not just about being like hyper efficient and effective in your business and making sure that if you spend 30 minutes every day reading and meditating, doing all this stuff, that it all compounds, which is true. However, it's just like time just passes. I could have been at home in Melbourne, sitting there doing the same things, and that time would have passed, or I can be out traveling and exploring the world. No matter what, like if you're lucky enough, time passes for you, and it's up to you to make that time matter. Number 5, going to Bali, there's a lot of people there to find themselves, and people say that they're very drawn to Bali because it's a very magical place, which it is, and they go there to find themselves. But the reality is that wherever you go, there you are. And that's lesson number 5. Even for me, it's not like you just come to Bali and any mental health issues or any anxieties or any problems in your life magically disappear. You're still you, and now you're just in a new country, and maybe you've unlocked new problems that you need to solve. And so one of the biggest learnings that when people ask me is like, your happiness really starts from within you. And you know, like a lot of these things on a theoretical level, but as you start to move around, be in new places, you just really realize that happiness needs to start from within, and you can't seek it from an external environment or from somebody else. Number 6, and this is around routine. And this one's a funny one because part of doing this was almost like trying to rebel against routine maybe, or trying to rebel against the mundane, or trying to avoid having a boring life. But as I've realized, routine and discipline are very, very important. When it comes to routine, you just need to be able to set yourself up for success, whether that's health or for wealth. At the start, like we were doing different stuff all the time. We were moving around maybe every 1 or 2 weeks, but it was really hard to get into a routine, which made it really hard to be healthy, also to get deep work or to move mountains in the business. What we've done now, because we don't need holidays, right? Like we're kind of in like a perpetual never-ending holiday, I guess, but we have to think of our time in business building sprints and relax sprints. So there's times where we have figured out now like which places to go. So like Kuala Lumpur is an awesome place when we're doing a business sprint, good city energy, easy to find good accommodation, set up for working from home. And maybe somewhere like Bali or Koh Samui is more of a relaxed sprint where it's okay if we work like 3 or 5 hours a day or more or less or whatever, but we can relax, and that's where it's okay to like not be in that hardcore discipline routine. And finally, team, number 7, and that is around this idea of being a digital nomad. So when we were researching this, there's heaps of articles about how you can shrink your lifestyle down to under $1,000 a month, and you can eat for $1 a day and other stuff like that. And there's a season of life for that, but it's totally not my current season of life. I don't want to be thinking about contracting my spending and penny pinching. That's not part of my dream life. And so really how I identify is more of a freedom entrepreneur. I have my financial system set up. I'm not spending like an idiot, and I never have. In fact, from traveling, I can't buy stuff because I've got nowhere to put it. So that's one thing that's eliminated. A lot more cocktails and like dinners out, but I would say that my overall life expenses, like living costs, maybe a little bit increased, which is fine because I didn't have huge living costs. I was like, had kept them very low, but my quality of living has increased exponentially. And so for me, like that idea of digital nomad versus a freedom entrepreneur is very different, and I don't want to be constricting what I spend. I'm not spending like an idiot, but I want to be working out how to make more money. And I think that's the difference maybe between like that freelancer mentality and that business builder mentality. And I want to have the business builder mentality of how can I build assets for leverage? How can I bring funnels that bring me in money when I sleep? That's what I'm working on. So team, those are my 7 lessons from about 130 something days of traveling the world and having all of my life into a suitcase. Stay tuned for more updates. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments, or if you recommend any awesome places that you've been on your own travels that I should check out, also please let me know.
Hey, just before you go and watch some cat dancing or another crazy Mr. Beast video, I've got something to give to you. All of the most successful businesses in any industry are dominating with this one thing. It is a golden hippo offer. And I've just launched my Golden Hippo Offer workshop. It has quick, actionable videos to walk you through my exact proven system. It has all of the plug and play templates you need to create and deploy your industry dominating offer. And I've just launched it for an insanely low amount. You can find the link in the comments and in the description of this video. And it's already getting students results like this.
And I've got to say that I learned more about marketing.
All my conversions from like 7 or 8% to about 12%. Some days I've been 50% lead gen conversions.
To get you a lot of leads, scale your business, yeah, I would definitely recommend this workshop.
More about sales, more about getting great offers with a Golden Hippo offer.
One of the biggest wins for me was to come up with my own offer that I'm going to be testing with my audience. And I think it's going to be a really good offer.
Than I have in my entire 42 years on this planet before then. Thank you guys so much. It was a very tiny investment on my part, and you guys helped me get 7 clients during those 4 days. And at $3,500 a pop, that's a pretty good ROI for you guys. So thank you so much.
Remember, change your offer, change your business. Click the link in the description or in the comments below, and I'll see you on the inside.